The general security advantages of the cloud are listed here. As the first point elucidates, when an organization shifts its public data to an external cloud, this in turn reduces its own exposure of its internal sensitive data. The organization itself might not know where its data is stored, but on the other side, the hackers would also not be able to get easy access to the organization's data. This would ensure safety of the organization's data. It is similar to the bank lockers provided by us. We use bank lockers to store our valuables, since storing them in our house would prove to be dangerous in future. So this is analogous to storing internal data to external cloud. As already discussed, cloud is a homogeneous, well-behaved system, making testing, auditing, and hence security testing and security auditing much more simpler. Cloud does enable automated security management. If security management is enabled, this management could be automated over the cloud, because cloud is a big network, and when we store our data in this network, we could also automate security controls over this network. And whenever a data is stored in the cloud, we could provide redundancy or disaster recovery, which is automated again. The most important challenges would be trusting that the vendor would provide the previous solutions to previous challenges, and also trusting that our data, once it is migrated to cloud, would be safe. And if your organization as a customer has taken some services from some other provider, and you in turn are providing some service to other customers, you might not be able to respond to any audit findings which are related to the services taken by you from your providers. So it is very, very important to sign the service level agreements or SLAs, which are very, very clear. A cloud customer who is also a cloud provider must sign an SLA from his cloud provider to give full support during audit findings. Unless these SLAs are clear and concise, customer might not be able to respond to audit findings properly. This kind of support are required for investigations, and it would be required hugely for making sure that security challenges in a general way would not come in the way of adopting cloud. There would also be indirect administrator accountability for all the services that a cloud provider gives. Of course, proprietary PaaS implementations, platform implementations, and SaaS implementations, software implementations cannot be examined by the nature of these services, which are confidential, which are proprietary in nature. This again poses a huge security challenge. And the most important security challenge would be loss of physical control over any of the services which a customer of cloud is facing. According to the cloud working definitions, 3 types of services would be provided over the cloud: infrastructure, platform, and software. In infrastructure as a service, the cloud customer would not be having any control over the hardware or the hypervisor. He would only be having control over all the software which are deployed over this hardware. The full admin control of the hardware part would be taken up by the cloud provider. So there would be loss of control of the hardware that you are leasing from the cloud provider. When we come to platform as a service, the customer has no control over the hardware or the operating system. He only has limited programmability control over the applications that have been deployed on this hardware and OS. In SaaS, there is almost no control over anything, over the hardware or the operating system or the middleware. The cloud consumer would only be having limited control over the application. For example, if we choose to use Gmail, we cannot change the way Gmail looks or change the way Gmail stores our emails. We can only change how our data is represented, how our username is stored. So as and when we migrate to cloud, the amount of control for a cloud customer would be very, very reduced. This loss of control itself is a great security concern. On one side, we are delegating our responsibilities to a cloud provider.